put it over. Do you want to introduce or do you want I introduce?
You can do it.
Alright.
Just do that. Why not? Okay, are we all set? Ready, set, go.
Good morning, or good night,
Or good
or
evening.
good evening, or
good
good
day.
afternoon.
Noon.
Welcome back. This is, I don't know if is it our first podcast? It's officially our first podcast, just us two for this year.
This year.
Yes. If you're new around here, my name's Lachlan, and this is Matteo. The one that sounds cringe is Matteo, and my name's Lachlan. And today we want to talk about a bit about ourselves and our journeys, as we always do, but focusing on our diets.
Yeah, we thought we'd just take a back seat and just keep it pretty chill this week. We usually have an episode each week coming out with a guest, but we thought maybe just do something different. A bit of a Q&A. We got some questions from some people sent in, so we're going to live life and talk about a diet.
So before we get into it, let's just have a quick chat. Obviously, we have had a few episodes that would seem recent on the podcast schedule, but we haven't had a podcast in about 2 months, you and I?
Yeah.
Start of December?
Yeah, probably
It's
2
gone
months,
fast.
2 months, 3 months even maybe. I
Yeah,
don't know.
insane.
It's been
But yeah, it's because we did do a lot towards the end of the year. Basically, I'll just give you a quick rundown of what our schedule was. We did about, towards the end of November, start of December, we did like 3 or 4 a week, just cramming a lot in so we could make the most of our January's off, have a really good new year and reset.
Sorry if anyone missed us a lot. I know we're very missable.
We did have 2 weeks off and I could tell people were sad, but we're back. So what have you been up to?
Nothing much, just about to start uni. Probably by the time this comes out, I'll probably be very close to doing that, I think.
Yeah.
It's about to start uni, just back to work. Pretty chill, really.
Do you feel like you had that New Year reset? I feel like a lot of people need that.
Yeah, I feel like, you know what I mean, when you just feel fresh,
Yeah.
a little bit fresh. And I feel like at the end of the year, you just go everyone, no matter what you're in, you just start going, and then it resets at the start of the year. It's so weird, like 2 weeks can do you so much.
I feel
so much
like
good.
because everyone wants to go away at the end of the year and everyone's like, oh, but it's so expensive, let's just go away another time. But I feel like everyone does need to go away at the end of the year because it's that time where you've finished if you're a full-time worker, finish your full-time work or your work's died down, you've had your Christmas parties and you just want a week and a half, 2 weeks off, you can just reset. And I had that and I was a bit worn out because I was balancing from last year, uni, 2 jobs and a podcast.
Yeah.
And it ended up working 6 days a week towards the end of the year.
And for people that are listening, you don't really realise how much work goes into a podcast.
Yeah.
Unless you have
Behind the scenes, there's
a
a lot.
producer and all that stuff with the bigger people obviously have, but you don't really realise how much it really
Literally
takes a lot of time.
And even
effort.
emailing 50 people to get on the podcast and half of them not responding because, I don't know, that was not a dig, but like a lot of people don't respond. But that's part of it, and we accepted that a long time ago. But we go into it not expecting anything. If people respond, we're happy days. But there is a lot of work, emailing people, coming up with ideas of actual brainstorming for new podcasts to bring out, Instagram, creating the videos, editing on Mateo's side. Mateo does a lot of editing and that sort of thing. There's a lot that goes into it. So no, don't just claim it.
And there go the lies. Hey, that's a funny story we can actually talk about. All right, no one's going to see me. Hang on, just I'll be back in 1 second.
We haven't actually mentioned this story yet, have we?
Yeah, no,
So,
I'll mention it.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so there was an interview we had with somebody, and we're not going to mention which one it is, of course, but there was an interview and we have this stuff clipped, where the person wasn't seeing us.
And this was ages ago, by the way. This is not like a recent episode.
This is not recent. Ages ago. And the person wasn't talking to us, couldn't see us, we couldn't see them, but we were on the phone. Right? Or something equivalent, I can't remember what
No, it wasn't the phone, yeah.
And Lockie happened to be pantsless.
I was just in a shirt and my undies.
Shirt and undies, as you do. That's not weird at all. All good, if we weren't friends, it'd be teetering off to the courts, you know what I mean? But that's all good. Anyway, so the lights turn off. I think Lockie's room, this room, the lights, and for people listening, I'm so sorry, but let me explain. His lights, when sun goes down, automatically turn off in this room, right? So it's a way to save energy, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so we use this room for thing, and it just automatically does it. So in this interview, the lights turn off, right? No big issue. The issue is we're trying to stay as professional as possible and stay quiet. What does Lockie do? Right, we got that.
Well, you forgot the most important bit. She was speaking, or he was speaking about a really
sensitive topic.
like important and sensitive topic,
Yeah.
and we were trying to focus, and
But what was funny about it, Lockie? What was the reason I started laughing?
so I literally, because we were in these squeaky chairs, and I get on my chair and I make the biggest crash.
So he's trying to be
noise.
subtle about it, and he's fully like leaning forward slowly, and then goes. And I just start like giggling, and I see him get up, and he thinks I'm laughing at him in his undies. Fair enough. So he sits down, and we just go into this laughing fit while this person is talking about.
But like we're not like
Serious
loud
stuff.
out loud. We're like covering our mouths, like
Looking
laughing.
away from each other, like we're full on. We might actually, maybe at one point we release the video, but just with no audio.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do that because it's that funny to look at. We're both just cracking up, and we've clipped them both.
And the problem is, one of us would stop, and then we'd look at the other person, they'd laugh, and then we'd get back, and we're like at the verge of tears crying. Like,
I was in tears.
It was like
Yeah.
those crying tears.
Yeah.
It was so bad. And for like 5 minutes, we're like, yep, like trying to like listen to, like, thank God she kept talking. And because,
Or he.
okay, well, to be fair, we have a lot of,
Okay.
well, that's narrowed it down a bit. Anyways, that's enough of that story. But
Anyway,
do
you
podcast things.
tell us a little bit about you at the moment, and then you can go on to the second point.
So I was going to get a full-time job. I had something lined up, and last minute kind of got,
what you call shafted.
yeah, a little bit like that.
There you go.
But it was fine. And then
That's life.
I'm trying to get a full-time job at the moment, especially in the research development kind of nutrition field, because I got a lot of ideas, particularly in snacks. But I got in contact with a company, and they really liked my ideas and my perspective, and they eventually decided to hire me. It's only 2 guys. It's a startup, and it's called Tidbit Snacks. So if you guys want to check it out online,
That's Tid with a D.
yep, Tidbits Snacks.
Tidbits. Okay.
That's it. And yeah, it's basically just healthy snacks for mostly office workers, but anyone really. And it's healthy, and it's like low in calories, quite high in protein, and it's kind of a good snack to get you through afternoon to dinner, or dinner to going to bed, or that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, have a look on the site.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to like come from the perspective of buy this, but give it a look. It's 2 guys trying to start something up, and it's really interesting.
And just from an unbiased sort of, well, I guess maybe I'm a bit biased because I'm on Lockie's side here, but we follow all these things, all these Instagram pages that tell you how many calories are in each snack, and how snacking can, if you do it over and over again and then continuously, it adds up. So if you want a snack, I feel like if you can at least understand how many calories are in each thing, or understand, how dense the food is.
Portion control, basically.
Portion control with your snacks as well. I think it'd be awesome. So I think it's a great idea that business, and that Lockie's joined on. I think is very wise, especially for someone that's trying to get into that sort of field. So
Yeah, so basically just done that, my casual jobs, trying to get a full-time job. And yeah, I would probably continue it if my full-time job allowed me to stay there. I do it on top of it because I do see it growing. I do see, the thing is, I feel like in my shoes, there's a lot of companies I can go to that I don't believe with what they sell in, and there's a lot of people that can just sell out and promote and buy, just promote or create products that are just scams. There's so many gummies and all that sort of stuff out there that are just crap.
what do you mean? Vitamin gummies don't work?
There's so much of it anyways, and end of the day, I want to be part of something I believe in, and this is healthy, convenient, and they actually taste really good snacks. So check it out. But yeah, getting on to today, and I'll let you take the reign first. But I feel like a lot of people are trapped where we were in two perspectives. It might have been firstly, the people that were in that position. Well, actually, we started from different spots. A lot of people will be in the spot where I was overweight and I wasn't happy with how I looked, or a lot of people would be stuck with where Mateo was, low calories, no carbs,
No understanding.
not exactly, and we're in the same
No
point of view basically, but just in different shoes.
Yeah.
So, and then as well, the next step from that was where Mateo and I both were at, was really strict macros, calorie counting every day, counting everything to the grain, every single thing was counted. And where we are now is a much better place, like balanced in between. So I feel like no matter where you are on your journey, you can gain a lot from what Mateo and I are about to talk about. But do you want to just give an overview of where you started and bring it forward to where you are today?
Yeah, so quite simply, as Lockie said, just no real knowledge about calories in, calories out, or substance in food, or eating for athletics, or eating for competing, or anything like that. So
also, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What did your high school schooling in Australia teach you about nutrition?
Yeah.
Like honestly, what did it teach you?
Practically nothing.
Eat your veggies, eat your fruit.
I mean, yeah, well, that's what parents tell you as well. Like, they barely even told us that.
Yeah.
I think that's being generous saying that they even said that. I don't think they even...
And sorry, going on a bit of a tangent, but a lot of people will be like, eat your veggies because it's full of vitamins and minerals. What doesn't a 16-year-old care about vitamins and minerals? They don't know anything. Why are those vitamins and minerals going to help that person? That's what they care about, and we don't learn that. If you say, hey, this vitamin is going to make you sleep longer, or it's going to make you feel more energized, or it's going to help with your performance, bang, that's how people get engaged and want to do it.
Yeah, but like well, what point is they're telling a 16-year-old? Like, what do 16-year-olds listen to anyway? You know,
literally,
like, you could literally tell them stop vaping, they'll laugh in your face and blow it back at you. So, by the way, vaping, man, go smoke a cigarette if you're gonna smoke anything, right?
Apparently, well, we're not promoting
It's not
cigarettes.
promoting anything, but like, look how
neither of us
stupid.
smoke. But apparently, vaping is worse than cigarettes.
But look how dumb you look vaping. Look how dumb you look smoking cigarettes. But smoking cigarettes, I don't know why, it just seems less dumb looking than smoking a vape. A vape, I'm not promoting anything, alright, before I get like taken out of context. But my goodness, I've gone to beaches and it's just full of 12s going on the bubblegum watermelon peachy fuzz flavour, whatever it is. Like, it's always like some really ditzy name that they can't, you know, that they have to cater it to kids.
Mateo's about to get cancelled.
Oh my goodness, man! It's literally called the watermelon / peanut butter drizzle fudge. Literally, that's what they call their things. Anyway, it's just so stupid. What was I talking about? So
your nutrition.
My nutrition. No idea how we got to the vaping. Anyway, yeah. So I just had no idea, and when I stopped playing this tennis, I went from training 6 hours a day to 2, and so I was like, hey, let's just think normally, right? I'm not training as much, so let's eat less, right? But in my mind, eating less was just eating salads.
Yeah.
Right? The salads, I felt like, to be honest, I felt very, very like light.
Yeah.
But it's because I had nothing in my body.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't have that explosive energy. I had this loose feeling energy where I could, do whatever. But
and did it affect your sleep? Like, I'm curious, did you nap or anything like that?
I honestly, I felt really solid at it. I feel like people can just operate on different things. I feel like I'm much better on an emptier stomach than I am on a fuller.
Yeah.
I can just train for days like on empty stomachs, but I still don't think it's good. I didn't have practically any carbs, so I don't think it's good.
insane.
What I was doing is just not right. So I was really lean, but I just reached this point. I was like, man, I don't feel like pumped ever. Like not just like for competition, but just pumped like in general. I don't feel.
I don't feel that energy boost to train.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like I have enough energy, but I don't have that extra bit that could probably like serve me a little bit. Especially in a sport like tennis where you're out there for like hours, you know, you need that, you need carbs, you know. So.
And I feel like an example is all these kids like, oh, I need pre-workout before I train. Your pre-workout can be your meal, and you didn't have that, and it's the carb in that meal, by the way, that's your pre-workout. It could be the quick carb in the fruit form or like a nut bar or something, but you didn't have any of those carbs to get that pre-workout, so you never had that edge.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, that's my story. It's probably coincides with a lot of people.
Where do you go from there?
Oh, so what, like you're saying, to finding out more and then going the opposite way, just extreme calorie counting, that whole thing. And then now I'm feeling like...
Well, go into more depth about your calorie counting days.
Yeah, well, like you said, taking out a single grain of oats, you know, to reach the number.
Weigh everything.
You know what I mean? Like I was trying to reach specific goals. I was trying to bulk actually at that time, so it makes sense. Like if you're trying to do it right, okay, whatever. But if you're actually on a plan, all right. But if you're just living life, there's no reason to really start doing that stuff. Yeah. I don't think, like, unless you're like really committed or you have something going on. Or,
I mean, you're allowed to bulk up. Don't get me wrong, but counting every single grain, particularly when you're bulking rather than cutting, is like not needed.
Yeah. So I went to that, and then now I'm at this point where I've lost. I think since at the top of my bulk, I've lost 13 kilos.
And we'll emphasize that's not unhealthy weight. Like he's not stupidly lean. He's where he should be.
That's what I wanted to get down to. Right now, I'm happy saying it. I wanted to get down to. I was at 94, and bearing in mind when I was playing tennis, I was 7% body fat, 77 kilos.
Yeah, wow.
94. I'm like, whoa, and I felt heavy. Right,
Sluggish,
this is on a good bulk, right? But then now I'm at 81. I feel just enough energy. I feel like as long as I'm staying around 81, all good. I don't want to get too far down.
And I feel like it's your natural weight being leaner.
Yeah. I just prefer it. Like
I think you might be smashing that mic right there.
Oh.
I feel like it's your natural weight being leaner, whereas for me, I'm naturally I'm meant to be heavier.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people don't understand that, particularly more on my side. People that have my weight, they're like, look at people like you and be like, I want to be that lean, but your body naturally will
different body types.
Steer your weight back up to where you're meant to be.
Yeah.
And we're not saying you're meant to be overweight, but you're meant to be a bit heavier. But there's perks with that. You build muscle easier. You put on weight easier if you're trying to bulk. So for Matteo, he loses weight easier. So there's different body types.
Yeah, like he's got some big titties. So it's like muscle titties.
Oh
so
my
it's
God.
like sometimes I'm like, hey, I want those big titties. But if I'm lean, I'm just happy where I'm at right now. That's the main thing. I don't want any...
Well, I'm sorry to the listeners for hearing that.
No, but like pecs, right? Big peckies. They call it peckies, right? But
yeah, okay, sweet.
That's where we're at. Lockie, would you like to share your story before I
Where are you now, Matteo?
Before I get...
Where are you now with your eating?
I'm at... just I'm at a good place, I'd say. Just solid eating. When I want to eat good, I'll eat good. Majority of the time I'm eating good. But Lockie knows we go out for...
Surly's. We got to mention Surly's.
This nice place in the city.
Surrey Hills, is it?
Surrey Hills or Potts Point.
It's like an American diner, and they do the best burgers, best wings, and sometimes you need that joy food. Yeah. And when you look at us and think they're doing a nutrition podcast, they need stuff. You can eat that stuff. Like during the week, maybe you want to eat the more healthy and nutritious, wholesome foods, but on the weekends you're allowed to have that stuff.
I gotta let something off my chest.
Go.
This is the last thing I'll say, and then I'll ask you about your thing. I'm smashing the mic, and I'm currently abusing it right now.
Okay.
People listen, all right? Whoever listens to this podcast, please try to preach this. Just because we run a nutrition podcast doesn't mean when you see us eating a burger, you can be like, Oi, you're eating a burger, but you run a nutrition podcast, mate. Get your life together.
How many times have we probably got that since we started?
Dude, man, if you listen to what we talk about on the podcast, you wouldn't be saying that absolute bullshit.
I swear, every time I am in front of someone new or someone that knows I have a podcast but I haven't spoken to in a while, they see me eat something like a regular person, like maybe some hot chips or maybe a burger or maybe a pizza, maybe some dessert, and they're like, oh, don't you want a nutrition podcast? You shouldn't read that.
It's
And it's like,
original-
I've done that 10,000 times.
Original, mate. Like, just join the queue with the other 1,000 people that have said that one joke, you know? Like,
So if you do see us in the streets, please don't mention it, because I think Mateo is like 1 or 2 comments away from snapping.
yeah, well, snapping.
He's about to snap this mic.
Snap this
so
laptop, you know what I mean?
okay,
Yeah,
so
anyway.
Well,
Alright, Lockie, where are you at?
So as I said, I went from a bit of a different perspective to Mateo. I started off overweight, not happy with my body, and I didn't know anything about nutrition. And I think my parents took the right approach, because they didn't tell me what to do. As Mateo mentioned, I was 16. As a person that's in year 10,
Freshly vaping.
you can't. I never vaped in my life. Thanks for that.
You run a nutrition podcast.
you vape.
You should never vape.
Never vape. Anyways,
Yeah, anyway.
now I'm a bit cancelled for a rumor about me vaping.
Yeah, well.
Okay, but yeah, I was in year 10 and I wasn't happy with my body, and my parents decided to go from the approach of letting me learn myself. And mum would tell me before that, mum would tell me how to be healthy, but as a 16-year-old boy, I did not want to listen to her, and I did my own thing. I basically cut out anything white, carbs that are white. I cut out a lot of desserts. Actually, no, I cut out all sugar.
You cut out all sugar, yeah.
What I thought was all sugar, but because obviously vegetables have sugar, because sugar is in
You cut out
carbs.
all unnecessary sugar.
I
In
cut
your
out all
eyes.
desserts,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
And I only ate clean. But looking back at that, thinking back to calories, I probably ate just as many calories as a normal person, but I trained so much that I did lose the weight.
Yeah.
Like, I would have mum would make me this nut bar, but it was basically granola. She'd make a granola from scratch. She'd put 2 types of oils in it, healthy oils, and put peanut butter in it. So it's like the most dense bar you've ever seen, probably like a 350 calorie slice. And I'd have 2 of them for recess, think I'm healthy. That's a meal in like 2 slices. Like, I would have so many calories. Even for breakfast, I would have, year 12 was insane. I would have like 2 pieces of whole grain toast with avocado, and you can bet you're gonna laugh at this, avocado and eggs. And I'd have like some yogurt and
No, I'm laughing.
cereal. Yeah, me bringing the avocado. You're
No,
gonna.
no, no.
Oh.
This guy at a boarding school would bring. You wouldn't bring.
No, okay.
your mum would
Let
drop
me
it
explain it. So
Mummy-
no.
Mummy would drop
So at our school there was weekly boarding, and to give you a rough idea, there was a fridge full of food, right? And people would put like some spag bowl or some leftover food that they had. I would put like a quarter avocado or half an avocado in Snaplock bags in the fridge for the week. And the funny thing is, everyone used to lock up the food in case someone stole it. I never locked it up, because
Lockie
who's
wrote
gonna
it.
steal my half avocado?
Lockie got his Sharpie out and started running Lockie, and then like the L was backwards, and he wrote it like on these avocados, so no one would touch it.
I got a lot of crap for that. I'd walk into breakfast with my little bag of avocado.
No, that's not even the thing I was laughing at.
What are
The
you
thing I was
laughing
laughing at is your freaking water bottle, man.
What?
This guy would literally, no, it wasn't even that. You would down water.
Oh, so we had these, what?
Like
We would
it
say
was the
1.5
last
litre
drink of your
jugs.
life. Yeah.
So we'd have tables of 8, so they have 1.5 litre jugs. And as a joke, like once a week probably,
Oh.
I would down a whole jug of water. And once as a joke, they're like, oh, do a second one. And I did a second one.
This guy was
And I
full
felt
of-
so sick for like 4 hours. I just chugged 3 liters of water in like a minute and a half. But that was a great way to get off topic. But we'll go back to
talk about you. nutrition.
we'll go back to that. Year 12. I ended up, so basically, even though I was eating healthier, I was eating just as many calories, and I emphasize this all the time. Just because you're like, people think an acai bowl is healthy, but it's just as many calories as like a McMuffin and a hash brown. Like, it's ridiculous. And people think, oh, that's unhealthy, that's healthy. There's no such thing. There's things that are more nutritious, less nutritious. But I didn't know any of this at the time. All I knew was I wanted to lose weight, and I was so determined that I kept going, and I kept not eating anything. And even my own birthday, I didn't eat anything. People thought I was like loopy. And I don't know how I didn't develop an eating disorder out of that, because that is absolutely insane what I did thinking back. But eventually I got to a stage where I learned about calories, learned about the science behind it, became obsessed with it because I'm obsessed with nutrition as food as it is now. But I became obsessed with the idea of calories and macros and bulking, cutting, understanding all that. And the best way to learn was doing it myself. So I was really strict, and I'd stick to every single macro, every single calorie, and I did that for a few years. But I did eat much more like inclusive. I ate everything in moderation, and I did enjoy my eating more. But then again, I was speaking about this with my friend today. I literally I was never maintaining. I was always bulking or cutting or bulking or cutting. I was always over full or hungry. And even if I wasn't physically hungry because I knew how to eat in a way that I'd be full, I was mentally hungry and my brain needed fuel. So for the last 6-8 months, I've finally just been happy with where I am, and I'm literally just maintaining. And I don't count calories. I've counted calories long enough to know roughly how many calories I want to eat a day. And in my head, I know how many calories in my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And the way that works for me, throughout the weeks, I'll eat what you'd call a lower calorie day, which if I maintain that, I'd probably be losing weight slightly. But that keeps me full and I feel mentally good. And then usually on the weekends when I'm going out for dinner with my girlfriend or with my mates or having a few drinks, you're not my mate, that's where I'll probably eat a higher calorie day, which you call more of a bulk day. And usually the week ends up balancing out with what would be maintaining. But I'm at the stage now where I'm happy with how I look and I don't need to do anything to please anyone, and I'm enjoying how I'm eating. So I feel like from both Matteo and I's perspective, there's something to gain out of that wherever you are. And if you're at the stage where you're counting every single macro, I promise you're not going to gain a kilo from like not counting everything. And I think a way to start is don't try to count your family's meals. When you're having dinner or whatever, don't count that and start to guesstimate and realize that your weight won't fluctuate. And after you realize that, cut it down and don't do your snacks, then don't do your lunches and don't do your breakfast. But it doesn't say, just have as many snacks as you want. You will gain weight, but just don't count every single macro. What do you think?
I think, not to sound like I'm not 105 years old, but I think we're always learning and we're always changing things. I mean, if you look at anyone in general, you catch up with someone 5 years later, they're going to have some different philosophies, some different information, and you never know. Lucky in 5 months could be like, man, I can't believe what I was doing back then, right now. But I don't see that happening, of course, because I feel like this is the final progression.
We're in the perfect place.
Final progression of your mentality to do with food, but I feel like people are always changing. So it's once you feel like, man, this is 100% where I want to be, then I feel like that's the right thing to do. And most of the time, it's just monitoring your food at a steady rate and not going too far one way or the other. And what I think is what Lockie was saying with more nutritious, less nutritious, is that it depends on what your goal is, right?
Yeah.
If you want less calories, that's fine. Follow that. Or if you want, like what he was saying, there's acai bowls that are like so dense, but like the majority of the food in there is solid nutritious food, right? Yeah. It's good, nutritious food. So it depends, if you want to fill your body with whole foods, you can eat all the acai bowls you like, you know what I mean?
That's it. Yeah.
But if your goal is to lose weight, you got to be a bit more monitoring.
Understand the science behind it. That's what you have to do.
Don't be naive when it comes to that stuff, because don't just eat acai bowls and be like, oh, we're good.
All right, Q&A time. So
let's fire through these.
And as well, we're going to try and make more of an effort of putting questions on our Instagram for every guest that we have on, about the particular topic. And if you want a question answered, we will ask that question that you guys ask, unless it's ridiculous, which we often get ridiculous. Which we often get. We might actually, if someone asks us a ridiculous question, we will answer it, even if it's stupid. We will answer it in Instagram, but we will not put it on a podcast, because especially people that we know, not going to name names here, but people have sent us some ridiculous stuff. So, first question for the Q&A. What is your favourite desserts?
I'm gonna be nice and quick with this one, and my girlfriend knows this. She'll be able to tell us straight away. But hopefully, everyone now will know that my favorite dessert of all time is easily a lemon meringue.
Why?
The tanginess, the sweetness, everything about it. I don't mind if it has a little meringue on top or not. I'll take it either way. I don't care if it's
Even lemon tart.
I don't care if it's upside down in the bin. I'll have that. I don't care if someone's just freshly trotted in it and their footprints are in it. It's all good. I do not care what is on top of it. I will have it and I will digest it and I will the next step it. So I will have a lemon meringue or a lemon tart every day of the week if I need to.
How good?
Yep. You.
I would have to say pretty generic ice cream, and I've been obsessed with Gelato Messina. They make the best gelato, and if I have to recommend, if anyone is in Sydney and has not tried Gelato Messina, go there tonight.
Is it just Sydney?
I don't even know, but they're all
Pretty
like Sydney.
big.
But
Anyway.
get one of their white chocolate and salted caramel scoops. It is ridiculous.
Oh, I forgot to mention really quick. I'm off full cream milk now. That's what I thought I should mention. I'm on soy milk now because I found out that I'm pretty intolerant to normal milk and dairy. So
Join the gang.
So soy milk.
Team
I just
assemble.
hope baristas don't come at me and be like, oh yeah.
You just gotta go like the really like hippie
less of a
ones.
man like.
No, but
no, it doesn't matter. Anyway.
we're not team no milk. We're just team we don't want to fart and
feel like bad. The whole
have a sore stomach
Yeah,
all the
exactly.
time.
Right.
So that's why. But yeah, we're not against milk. Nothing wrong with milk. Okay, Matteo. Next question: what is your favorite form of exercise at the moment?
Favorite form of exercise. I am doing it with my girlfriend at the moment. It is a mixture of walking and running. You go 5 minute walk, run, walk, jog, and you just see your fitness just increasing steadily. Also, at my house, I have one of those boxing guys. A good 20 minutes of that.
Yeah.
Solid pace is pretty good.
Mm.
I think those two are the biggest ones. Yeah.
Funnily enough, I actually have a new form of exercise. I've stuck to resistance training, which I still do 4 or 5 times a week for like 4 years now, and I haven't really gone on anything else. And since I ruptured my ACL about 3 years ago, I haven't played any sport. Started this year, end of last year, I decided to join a touch team, just for fun, nothing competitive, and I love that. But that's not what the sport I'm going to mention. I have started, and shout out to Isaac, my mate Isaac. He is the reason I've started this. We do boxing together. Have I told you? Have you mentioned that? We meet up once a week, and he has just boxing gloves, and he has the pads.
Yeah.
And we just do some combinations. Go for a bit of jog, bit of skipping, that sort of stuff. Just a bit of cardio, learning how to box better. And we've only done it 4 times now.
But mixing it up, you got to you can't just what it's like. You can't just stick to the same working out routine.
Yeah.
If once you change it up, like it's like whoa, this is a new thing. Like
That's
even
it.
you doing something like that is just like your brain, a different part.
Yeah,
of your
it's
brain.
crazy.
Yeah.
And even something I would say, if you're just sticking to weights in the gym, every 6 weeks or 8 weeks, change it up, and you'll be like, wow, this is awesome. It feels like you're excited to go to the gym again because you're doing some new exercises that you don't regularly do on your program. So change it up and keep adapting, learning more. And as well, when you change up exercise in the gym, you're hitting different little muscles that you would never even realize are there. Yeah. And you'll wake up the next day so sore, but then you'll realize how good it is for you because you're having a more complete muscle tone of that big muscular cross-sectional area.
One more thing. If you're going to box the boxing dude, don't be that guy that runs up with bare fist and goes, oh, I got it, and then hits him in the face and then realises it's way harder than what you think. All right? Next question. Thank you.
But no one has that boxing guy. It's only you. I've never
but everyone that comes to my house is like the wise guy. And
well, I don't think
you were there. You were there one time, a mate of ours.
Yeah.
Fine, I'll say Jack comes up and goes, oh yeah, nice, and then goes bang and goes, oh. I'm like, yeah, no, it's not like this like soft toy. It's kind of hard.
All right.
Anyway.
Next, what is your food addiction at the moment?
We mentioned it. It is wings.
Oh yeah. How
Wings
cool.
with ranch dressing.
Yeah, and
We run a podcast about nutrition.
you eat wings.
Anyway.
You know what, for me? I have been addicted to, and it's the exact thing, grilled chicken burgers and sweet potato fries.
They go
I
well together.
can't
Goes well together.
I can't stop eating them, especially the sweet potato fries. They're unreal. Like, I've had them for years, but I'm just in this thing at the moment where I can't stop eating them.
He's getting this newfound love for it.
Like, at least every 2-3 weeks, I'll have myself a good one. And the best place is Lashings in Drummoyne.
I haven't tried it from there.
Oh,
From there, I haven't tried
I'm
it.
taking you. It is the best. It's so good, and they're the best burgers. So yeah, if you want to try a burger, go to Lashings in
Shout out
Drummoyne.
Lashings.
And if you guys want to sponsor us, we will mention you every episode, and you can give us free burgers every day, and I will cop that.
Yeah.
Okay. Next and last Q&A question. What is the TV show or movie that you have watched or are watching, and you find that the listeners need to know about?
No TV shows for me. I'm not really a big fan at time investing, and I feel like people just get addicted, and then it takes a lot of time away. But movies, I'm a big fan of thrillers and horrors. So I feel like thrillers are pretty all round. I feel like everyone likes thrillers. I don't think there's many people that don't like thrillers. And I mentioned this to Lockie before. There's a movie called Searching. That very solid movie. It's about this this dad whose daughter goes missing, and they try to find her, and it's really good because there's a lot of movies that try this, but it doesn't really work out. But it's through the whole lens of social media and laptops and all that stuff. So it's got all the FaceTiming the daughter. So it's really realistic. There's no I don't think there's any music like full on soundtrack. It's just very centered around social media, trying to find his daughter that way.
I hope it's not his girlfriend.
Yeah, well. And then the second movie I watched 2 days ago is on Netflix called My Octopus Teacher.
Oh, I heard about
Man,
that.
so good. It's
Really?
about this guy. It's literally about this guy in South Africa who decided to go diving every day, and he found this octopus, and he keeps going every single day, and he just this octopus loves him at the end, jumps on his chest and does
That's awesome.
everything. And it's it was so.
So how do I make a movie out of that? What happens the whole
So
time?
the guy before, he was a journalist, so he'd
Yeah.
go to different places and film hunters and stuff like that in Africa.
Yeah.
So he was already pretty talented with a camera. So he went down and he got all these shots of him interacting with the octopus.
That's
He
cool.
went every single day for 300 days.
Oh wow.
And it's insane the stuff that they show there.
That's
It's
awesome.
insane. You watch it for sure. You should even watch it. It's really
Yeah.
good.
Something a TV show I watched recently, and it's one of those in the different language where they do the voiceover, and the voiceover is sometimes horrible, but this voiceover is alright. Lupin, it's so good. If you guys ever watch Lupin, if you ever watch Money Heist, it's like that.
Is it
It's
Spanish?
I think it's French.
Okay.
Yeah, it's French. Yeah, really, really good. So if you guys are into those sort of movies, the TV shows, that's the one at the moment. Next question, and we haven't actually done this just ourselves yet, but we're going to say it. What is one thing you have learned or found interesting this week?
Alright, this is an interesting one, and I feel like Lockie... I don't think Lockie's ever heard me say this, but it's a tricky one, because when you go on holidays, I've had, this holiday period, I feel like we're all in the tendency of... We get in the tendency of, we're on holidays, let's eat whatever we want, right? It's fine, completely fine. But I think me especially, I think we all get to that point where we eat too much of the bad stuff up to the point where we actually feel sick. And
Yeah.
I don't think there's a necessity for that. I feel like you can eat whatever you want, but just keep it to a standard where you don't feel like you're going to throw up after and literally abuse your stomach. You
That's
know what I mean?
yeah.
Because that's not good to do that to your stomach. It doesn't matter if you're on holidays or not. Your stomach doesn't go, oh, you're on holidays, so let me just add a bit more space.
Yeah.
I don't think it's worth... go and eat whatever you want, but try not to overdo it, because you literally are harming your body from doing that. And it takes a while for the body to for me, it took a solid 3 days for my stomach to recover after 2 or 3 days of eating really poorly.
But I
So,
feel like,
for me, it's not worth it.
do you know the funny thing is, if someone, so basically I'll give a quick geek lesson. So leptin is the signal in your brain that tells you you're full. Dogs don't have a leptin. and this is not the one thing I've learned this week. Dogs don't have it because, well, they just don't have it, and they're never full. And that's why dogs can easily gain weight. If you don't walk them, they will eat as much as you give them.
Yeah.
So, humans, sometimes their leptin isn't receptive, and people that are overweight have less receptive leptin, and that is where you need to yourself, like, think, am I full?
Yeah.
And that is how you basically develop the signal between the thought and the leptin combined, and that's how you bring it back to normal. If you eat a bad diet but listen to when you're full, you actually won't gain that much weight. You might over the years you'll gain weight, but we're talking like week to week, month to month. You're not going to gain much weight because it's heavy and it's greasy and it's disgusting sometimes. That's actually not usually disgusting, but it's heavy and greasy that you feel full and you feel like
You feel disgusting.
Yeah.
You don't like,
and you're not going to want to eat hours after.
But like literally, my stomach was in pain for the next 3 days. Like, it wasn't not like it was like the same sort of stomach pain you have the day after drinking really heavily. You have that little like annoying little niggling pain in your stomach. It was like that for 3 days. So it was basically detoxing after that. It was like getting all the stuff out of my system. So I think that's my thing that I've learned, just not overdoing it, because it doesn't matter if you're on holidays or not, your stomach doesn't care and it's not going to receive it well. So yeah.
My thing I learnt this week, and I was listening to a podcast, I've mentioned it before, but shout out to James Smith PT's podcast, really good podcast. He was chatting with his mate and I was saying all the time, humanity is like, everyone's against each other. Countries are against each other. People, like cities against each other. People are just against each other. And no one's friendly. But COVID, not actual COVID brought everyone together, but there was, I feel like, and there was a particular week or two when everyone was in lockdown. I don't know if you felt this. I always go for walks, and I went for walks in lockdown, and I feel like everyone for once was kind of at peace. Like usually when I go for walks, everyone puts their head down.
Because everyone was on the same.
Everyone said hi to me.
Yeah.
Like and they were mentioning it. They're like, there's 1 or 2 weeks where everyone was just at harmony with each other, and I thought back, I was like, it's so true. And then that period went, and no one talks to each other, and everyone's just like looking after themselves. Just, I feel like,
you know what it was? It's
how
just,
crazy is that?
You know what it was? It was camaraderie.
It's like fear. Everyone had fear,
but
and because you had the same problem as them,
people understood. So they were like sort of nicer because they're in the same boat, and they feel like they have like this connection with everyone because everyone's in the same situation. So they're like, oh, I can say hi to this person. They'll know what's up, you know.
And I feel like not even if that people think about it, but everyone has their own problems in any aspect. Some worse than others, but everyone thinks their problems are the worst and their stress is the worst. So in normal life, I feel like COVID was a bigger stress than anything else at that time for most people. And that's why everyone kind of linked together. But everyone kind of walks past someone and thinks, my problems are worse than theirs, stuff that person, I don't want to talk to them. And even if you don't think like that your inner thoughts are thinking like that. So I just thought that's something really fascinating that I was thinking about. But anyways, let's just go on to something, and I'd like to apologize. The last time we did 3 key takeaways, spoiler alert, Mateo was meant to edit the amazing sound we do, and he put it right at the end.
I screwed it up.
Put it right at the end, and I was like, where is this? I must have started out. I end the episode, it's like, dun. So, let's see if Mateo can do it this time.
I'll try to pull
Let's do 3 key takeaways. All right, number 1.
Wow, that was insane. Go again. You can just keep going. You can make a beat out of that.
All right, what language is that?
What did it say? E?
Yeah.
Swedish.
No, it's actually traditional Chinese.
Oh wow. Okay.
The more you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to take the first one?
You got it, mate. It's all you.
Just trying to think of actually something productive to say, which I don't usually say anything productive.
More along the lines of the diet thing.
Yeah. I think.
You're really slow
understand. Today. Yeah. Well. You know. That's only going to make me slower. I think finding what's right for you and understanding what's right for you. So obviously, as I said earlier, people are always changing and evolving, and their ideas are always changing, like I said earlier, but trying to put the effort into finding what really makes you feel
True happiness, yeah.
True happiness, not just in eating wise, but in everything. But if we're talking about diet, you know, try different things. You know, try everything,
Yeah.
and then see what makes you feel the best. And whatever makes you feel the best is most likely the right thing to do. So,
Yeah.
I think just invest and explore different options of everything. Whether it's milk, like what I was saying, try different milks. You know, I tried soy milk and I was like, man, this tastes practically doesn't taste any different.
Yeah.
You know, the coffees I have. So, try different things, see what works for you, see what you feel the best on.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, number 2.
That's right. That's some Eastern European.
Or
Albanian and
Polish.
Yeah, well, right.
Yeah. I would say, coming from the other perspective of the person that does know, that is more informed and does know what they're talking about. Say it's with food, it could be with anything. Let the person that you know that you're trying to help learn themselves. And if they ask you for help, give them the help, but don't shove your thoughts on them, because that pushes them further away and that never is productive. So yeah, just try to let people do their own thing.
Yeah.
Alright, ready?
Well, that's Italian.
No?
Spanish.
Mm.
French.
Romanian.
That's basically the same as every other language I've ever said.
When you got it wrong.
Oh well. Number 3 goes along the lines of what I was saying before, but trying to change your exercise patterns.
Yeah.
Not frequently, but you know, at a good pace. So like every 3 months, try a different exercise routine, try something else. As Lockie said, you don't want you just the same exact muscles being worked in your body over and over again. You want to try to get a good
Range,
good strength in everywhere, every part of your body. So I think like what Lockie was saying, is getting into boxing and skipping and cardio. Even skipping, I've heard the other day some sort of stat that skipping is like one of the most beneficial cardio exercises out of all of them. So just trying different things. You don't know how to skip? Fine. We live in a time where there's this thing called Google and YouTube where you can search up how to skip. Okay? So
20 billion responses.
Search up how to skip. This guy, this lady, and about times 30 of them will have a video on how to skip. So search up, do whatever. Search up how to hit a left hook. Search up how to run properly. Search up how to walk. Search up how to stretch. And just try new things in terms of exercise as well, to activate the different muscles in your body and to also, you know, get your brain moving in a different way. Because otherwise your brain's just on autopilot and then, you know, you're not actually learning anything new. So yeah.
Well, to conclude, this went much longer than we expected.
Yeah. To be clear, tell them how long we were saying.
We thought it'd be 30 minutes, but it's 48.
Yeah.
Mateo's put his hand over the mic numerous times. I haven't heard the audio. If it's bad, blame Mateo, not me. To sum up though, I got a few things I want to say. Firstly, we are now on YouTube. Woo! Yeah! So if you want to see our faces, go over to YouTube, search up The Nutrition Expedition, and you'll see our lovely faces.
This episode, the episode before and this one are the first 2 that are up.
Yeah.
That will be up.
Yeah. So if you guys want to check us out there, that'd be awesome. Also, our Instagram, we put so much effort into it, and we feel like we're having some high quality, like, videos and posts for you guys. Make sure to check us out on Instagram. Make sure if you have any questions, we're always happy to help. We're always happy to answer anything. If you have any guest suggestions or topic suggestions, message us on Instagram. Please do. We love when people interact with us. We do love it. Meeting new people. So you just answered that so wrong.
We do love it.
Okay, well, I'm going to sum it up now because
we'll leave it there before we get
Mateo said a bit too much now. Sorry if Mateo swore a bit too much today or said some inappropriate stuff. But yeah, we'll leave it there. Thank you everyone for listening, and we'll see you next week. Hey.